big.
Too big, yeah.
Still a little too big, yeah.
Okay, it might still go down the size bigger, but let's start. So this is a relatively recent tshuva from our Moshe Tzuriel, was my mashgiach in Shalvin many years ago, and is now a prominent rabbi in what, for lack of a better term, we will call the Bda'ti or Chardal camp in Israel. And he's an author of dozens and dozens of Sfarim, including them a major work on Rav Kook, whose yard site is today, Gimel Elul. No,
Okay.
yard site yesterday, Gimel Elul. Anyway, no, I think his yard site is today. Maybe it's Daled Elul. His yard site is today. Anyway, so this is, as you see, it's from August 15th, 2020, which means from last week. 2 weeks. Yeah. Sheila. Allah b'da'ti lislos chutei. I'll read it in Sephardic. That's tomorrow.
Please.
Sheila. Allah b'da'ti לתלות חוטי תכלת בבגד ציצית שלי. כי ראיתי כמה אנשים שעשו כך. I saw several people who've done this. אבל לאחרונה פרסמו כמה רבנים מהחרדים שאין לעשות כן, כך. Some Haredi rabbis have said not to do this. It is worth mentioning that Reb Zalman Lechem Goldberg, who was one of the Gilui Ador, Zatzal, who was nifter last week, was an advocate of Techeles. Going oilam, and it's a great loss. So there are Rabbanim Me'acharedim who went both ways on this. So, okay. But some Rabbanim Charedim said, Aleph, Tanu sheyesh b'zeh ga'ava. They claim that it's arrogance to wear Techeles. Beit, Tanu shegdoli ador lo nahgу. Second, they claim that the Gdoli Ador, of course, it's not 100% true, as we just mentioned, did not wear Techeles. Gimel, Ta'nu שהאריז אמar שהמשיח יבוא לפני גילוי התכלת. The Arizal said that Mashiach will come before Techeles will be revealed. ועדיין לא בא. As best as we can tell, Mashiach is not here. מה נכון לי לעשות? What is proper for me to do? האם אני מקלקל בזה משהו? Do I ruin anything by putting on Techelet? תשובה, ודאי שראוי לך לתלות חוטי תכלת בבגד ציצית שלך. It's only worthwhile for you to put Techeles in your tzitzis. Now, Rav Tzuriel is known for not mincing words. And here too, he does not mince any words. He says that it is definitely appropriate for you to put Techeles in your tzitzis. Aleph, ein b'zeh mishum ga'ava. There is no arrogance in this. כמו שאין בזה גאווה שאלפי אנשים מניחים תפילין של רבנו תם לראשיהם, just like thousands of people put on רבנו תם תפילין, כל בוקר אחרי חזרת השץ, every morning after חזרת השץ, one second, okay, למרות שאין גדולי הדור עושים כן, כך, even though the many גדולי הדור don't put on תפילין רבנו תם. Right. So a Galon can come and say, you know what, I'm not going to burn a bad time because it's gaiva. Reicha divrei achida, moving b'shar yitzhul, shulchan aruch, tima orachaim lamadal tzif katan bet. Uchashash gava, it is a problem of gava, of arrogance. Kasher adam hu yachid b'zeh. But a person is the only person doing this. Oops. Okay. Now, when there are thousands of people like you are doing it, in other words, once it becomes very widespread, it's widespread. That's that. What's this analogous to? לפני כמה מאות שנים, כתב מהרי ברונה, who was one of the early אחרונים, שו"ת סימן צדי ו', כי בחור לובש טלית קטן בגדה מבחוץ, somebody wears the tzitzis outside his garment, who yuara, it is arrogance. They know elamina matmi'im, it is only causing other people to be astonished. We are astonished at such arrogance. אבל בזמן הזה, but in our day and age, שמאות אלפי בחורים מצא אשכנז נוהגים כך, that hundreds of thousands of Bachrim from an Ashkenazic, even the Ashkenazic background, have this custom to wear their tzitzis out. Presumably he means the tzitzis strings, but also referring to the tzitzis garment, because there are even Ashkenazim who wear the tzitzis garment of the Arba Kanfos out.
Mm-hmm.
Mi Omar sheyesh b'zeh yu'ara. Who will say that this is arrogant? Mi me'ara b'ni amoneh me'em li'ogach. Who prevents these bachrim from wearing their tzitzis out over their garments?
Okay. It seems like a reasonable answer.
What?
So far, so good.
Okay, you're really smiling way too much here. Gam Arizal shechashash lezeh mipnei yu'ara. Even Arizal, who was afraid that wearing tzitzis out is an arrogance problem. Shar kavanot inyan ציצית ולא סוף לושבב. זה רק מפני כי בזמנו לא הלכו רוב האנשים החוטים בחוץ. That's only because most of the people in his day and age did not go with the strings out. ולא ראה דברי השולחן ערוך. חיים בסימן י"א, שיש לבוש בגד ציצית על הבגדים. Arizal was a contemporary of the Shulchan Aruch. He didn't have the Shulchan Aruch. כי השולחן ערוך לא נתפס בזמנו. Shulchan Aruch was being written during his day and age, but was not yet printed during his day and age. בית. מה שטענו כי גדולי הדור לא נהגו כך בעצמם. גדולים didn't wear תכלת. אין בזה מניעה ממי שרוצה לקיים ספק מצווה דאורייתא. It's not a impediment if someone wants to fulfill a ספק מצווה דאורייתא. שהרי התורה ציוותה לתלות גם חוט לבן וגם חוט תכלת. The Torah itself commands us to put on תכלת. בגמרא נתנו עצות איך לדאוג אם הצבע שצבעו בו את החוט הוא באמת תכלת. The Gemara talks about trying how to ascertain that the string which they're selling is truly tcheles. The came on manpikim kutim because this is people who distribute the current strings for sale. They checked out the matter. In other words, they know that this is definitely tcheles. Ye alehem yesh li smoch. Upon them you can rely. Hold on a second. Now second shelf from the bottom. You looking for Mikros Gedolos? Yes? Second shelf from the bottom in the second column. From the right. See it? There's a set of Mikros Gedolos to the left of the shelf. Second column from the right. Oh, third column. Sorry. Okay. There's Vern's not there, so ask Mom where it is because she took it out yesterday. Okay. Sha'atit Mochiva Rabbi Rav Tzuriel Deblitsky. That's how Tzuriel Deblitsky was one of the distinguished poskim in Bnei Brak for many decades. I don't know if he's so well known outside the Litvisher community, but he was one of the major poskim in the Litvisher community in Bnei Brak.
Okay.
I asked my Rebbe, should I put on Techeles? I'm not sure when he asked him. The Shem not Techeles, Amiti. Maybe it's not the true Techeles. Shem kilkalti et mitzvah. Maybe I ruined the mitzvah. She'en kol chutim levanim. If not, all the strings are right. But now he answered me, Shatzeva no mishaneh kiyum mitzvah. It really, you don't need to have white strings. When the Gemara talks about chutim of lavan, it just means chutim which are not Techeles. It's not talking about actual white strings.
Okay.
So therefore, you can use green strings, red strings, purple strings. Green might be a problem because green might be a Techeles color. Purple might be a problem because purple is, I don't know, whatever. You can use a pink polka dots. There is a custom that the string should be the same color as the garment. You know what they talk about? There's a whole question about the racing stripe in the tzitzis. You know the racing stripe?
Yeah.
You know what I'm referring to? The stripe.
Yeah, they've got a black stripe across the bottom.
Right. So if you wear Techeles, it's a problem because the stripe is supposed to be the same color as the strings. So and it used to be that the color of that stripe was blue. So
really?
That's the case. So if you wear Techeles, the custom is usually, if I understand correctly, to use the white racing stripe tzitzis as opposed to the black racing stripe tzitzis.
I don't think I've ever seen blue racing stripe tzitzis.
Oh, well, you've never seen them. They don't make them. I'm not sure why, but they don't.
Okay.
They, you know, there is a strong.
So wait a minute. I have Techeles off both my regular everyday talis and my Shabbos talis are good old fashioned Ashkenazi talesim with the black stripes.
Right. So
there's stripes. If I put the Techeles on, is that a problem?
There's a strong story. I should say, story with strong basis. That initially, meaning until the 1900s, most talesim, talitot gdolot, had blue stripes. But then when the Zionists usurped the blue for their flag, then people switched the stripes to black. And so that's the way, but in theory, when wearing Techeles, one should have blue stripes on one's tzitzis. Today, it's not possible to do that because of sociological reasons. So it's not done. You know, but you probably recall growing up, and especially in a place like Atlanta, there are far more people have blue stripes in their tzitzis than there are today.
So I never saw, on a talis gadol, I never saw blue stripes.
No? Well, my father-in-law had a talis gadol with
once in a blue moon, I might see it, but that was like in the 70s or 80s where somebody, would come back from Israel with a talis or something.
My father-in-law always was makbid to wear tzitzis with blue stripes.
Who was?
My father-in-law.
Apparently my father-in-law's talis also had blue stripes, but I don't know.
Anyway, be as it may, it's a minhag. It's not really halacha. That's what he's saying here. The color of the bebeged is, and its correlation to the tzitzis is only a minhag.
Fine. So then I don't have to worry about my talis.
Right. Yesh rak minhag ba'alma she'choti miyu to tzeva shel bebeged, אבל אינו מעכב. It's not an impediment. ואמר לי, שכיוון שזה ספק קיום דאורייתא בכל רגע ורגע, you can fulfill mitzvah d'oraita of having תכלת in your tzitzit. תכלת in your tzitzit. Every moment, ראוי להחמיר ולקיים ולבוש בגד עם תכלת. It's appropriate to be meticulous about this. מה שגדולי הדור אינם מדייקים מלבוש התכלת. אינה ראיה. It's not evidence. I would say the G'dolim don't wear it. His proof is very interesting. So it's כמו שכמעט רובם כולם אינם מתפללים תפילת שחרית כוותיקים כל ימות השנה. Look at these G'dolim, they don't daven vasikin every day. And we know that that's the preferred way to daven, right? וכמו שרובם כולם אינם מניחים תפילין כל היום. And most of them don't put on tefillin for the entire day. Just wear for davening. היעלה לדעת שאדם פשוט אין ראוי לקיים מצוות אלו אם נשאו ליבו לכך. If some simpler person decides he wants to specifically take upon himself to daven kivasikin or to wear tefillin the entire day, should we shut him down because it's Yura or the G'dolim don't do it? So actually, I would say yes, we should shut him down for number 2, but not for number 1. Personally, I would say that to wear tefillin the entire day requires a very high madrega of kavana, of not to be mesiach das from the tefillin, and I would say it is in fact Yura. I would not say anything about vasikin. I think any Tom, Dick, and Harry can and should do that vasikin if they're up to it. But I would say actually that tefillin all day is something which one has to think that twice about. So I agree with 50% of his proof, not the entire proof. Shem Rav Chaim Volozhin Shamar b'Shem Agra. But Rav Chaim Volozhin said, the name of the Gra, in terms of putting on the entire day, we're not afraid of arrogance. Now, this is Rav Chaim Volozhin and the Gra. It's not really about Tom, Dick, and Harry. But, okay. May the people we want to be able to see this also do it. Rav Shem Rabbo Gra Zal, he said the name of the Gra, Bizman is Eno Shayach Yuara. There's no concept of arrogance. Not sure why. But Nachon, the first thing, it's best to publicize. That we can agree. הנהגת כתר ראש אורחות חיים בסידור גרסיב קטן טבע. ג' מה שטענו כי מנויים אנו מהתכלת, כי המשיח עוד לא בא. That which they say we're prevented by התכלת because Mashiach's not here. על ידי שימוש במחשב נתונים, based on using computer search, חיפשתי בכל כתבי אריזה, אבל לא מצאתי שאומר כך. I looked into all the ranks of Arizal and never found it. You know, it's interesting because there's certain things, if you're sure somebody said something, but you don't have any idea where to find it, you either say it's in Yerushalmi or it's up in Kabbalah. Those are the two ways of saying something which doesn't exist actually exists. Okay?
Okay. But you can't get away with it anymore. That's what he's showing us. He's showing us you can't get away with that anymore.
Yes, exactly, right. B'shar Kavanot, which is one of the Kisvei Arizal, יען ציצית ושלט אומר שהיה לנו תכלת בזמן בית המקדש שהיה קיים, ליד חסד חיים, ואומר שאין לנו תכלת בזמן הזה. Today we don't have any tchilus, but it's a matter of fact. It's not a statement of policy. אבל שטות דבריו של הזמנו הוא, לפני קרוב ל-500 שנה, so it is time 500 years ago. ולא קבע שנועדתי להיות לנו עד שבוא המשיח. It doesn't say that we're promised we're not going to have it when Mashiach comes. וגם לא קבע שיש תנאי בדבר שיהיה בית המקדש קיים, מה זה תנאי בהעביר בית המקדש. כנראה, seems מתנגדי התכלת קראו לומר כך בשמו, מתוך זיכרונם הם. People who oppose Techeles claim Arizal said this out of their own faulty memory. היום מצטטים את דבריהם, and now people are quoting the people who made it up, בלי שיש להם שום בסיס, לא בזוהר ולא באריזל. On the basis not in the Zohar, not the Arizal. הבטחות רבות אמרו חז"ל לא שאין ציצית. חז"ל promised many wonderful things people in ציצית. אם תדייק נמצא שהרבה מהבטחות שייכות דווקא לדרישת חוט התכלת. If you infer properly, you'll see that many of these promises have to do with wearing tcheles. So mikra, ritem u'tos ritem et kol mitzvot Hashem. You'll see it on the mitzvahs of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yerushalmi. Ritem oto k'dei she'inekal ben ha'tzvu'im. Ritem oto means that you can distinguish between the colors. Although it's possible, I don't remember what Yerushalmi means. I think that's it. It means that you should be. Yeah, I think that's it. A time she'emei ritem otah, לשון נקבה, כמו שרואים מילת ציצית, אין כתיב כאן. It doesn't say ritem otah as you would expect, אלא ritem אותו. נגיד שכל מקיים מצוות ציצית, anybody who fulfills the mitzvah of ציצית, כאילו מקבל תכוני שכינה. It's as if they're greeting the divine countenance. נגיד שהתכלת דומה לים, the tchelet looks like the sea. The sea looks like greens, like grasses. And the greens are like the sky. You know, you come from the deep south. I think they talk about bluegrass down there in the deep south, right?
I think that's in Kentucky.
What?
That's Kentucky's bluegrass.
Oh, not the so deep south. But anyway, I guess bluegrass has something to do with Techeles. וים דומה לעשבים מעשינים לקרב דרכי דומה לכיסא הכבוד. הכיסא דומה לספיר, and the kisseh is like a sapphire, you see. Rabbi now al rakia asher al rosh hakruv. This is from Daniel that I saw on it's one of the Meisim colors. I saw at the top of the kruv Kevin Sapir Kamaret Dumut Kisei, a sapphire work like the kiseh color. ובתלמוד בבלי אמרו דרש רבא. זכר שאמר אברהם אבינו מחוץ לצרוך now when he said the king stone it from a string to a shoelace. זכו בניו לשתי מצוות. The children merited 2 mitzvahs. חוט של תכלת ורצועה של תפילין. יש להם רצועה של תפילין. I understand with the tefillin strap, what's the gift? דכתיב ראו כל מי הארץ כשם השם נקרא אליך. אליך ויראו ממך. The nations of the world will all see that the name of God is upon you and they will fear you. The Tanya, Rabbi Lezer, Agadol, Omer, Rabbi Lezer Ben Horko said, Hail Tefillin Shebarosh. What's my place? Chut Shel Tchelet Mai. What's the Chut Shel Tchelet? What's the great gift? The Tanya, Rabbi Omer, Mash Shel Tchelet Mikol Timinei Tzibonim. But Techelet different than all other colors. In nature, Techelet or Yam. Yam the Melakia, but Rakia the Melchizedek Kavod Shema Vayut okay Israel. So the God of Israel, the Tachat, Raklav Kamasel Livnatas appear underneath his feet was something like the brick of sapphire. like the essence of heaven for purity. Tzeva Shamayim v'vaytchelet. The color of them is only Techeles. Uktiv Kamara. Even Sapir Dmut Kisei. And like the stone of sapphire is the form of the chair, throne. Mira kol avtachot who sees all these promises? Lo techshok nafsho liskot l'mitzvah azu to merit fulfilling this great mitzvah. Al tishma lidivrei ha'miashim otcha mizeh. Therefore, don't listen to people trying to dissuade you from that. Okay. So somebody here, right? I'm not showing this comment on Facebook. The guy says, "Lo stam ne'maseh l'charav sheishat rav ha'ishi shelo." I think this guy is trying to be negative about Rav Tzuriel's tshuva and saying that Rav Tzuriel has no business. The guy should not have asked Rav Tzuriel. The guy should ask his local rabbi. I don't know if these are questions which were asked from Rabbi Tzuriel. I think that the questions might be made up in order to write the answers. But be that as it may, so we see Rav Tzuriel says there's no issue of no good reason to refrain from wearing Techeles, and therefore Adarabah, fulfill the something mitzvah say deraisa and put on Techeles. And I think this brings us to the end of this topic for our purposes.
Okay.
I'm going to stop recording and you tell me then what you want to do next.